just ain't no good.
Oh, my man. You know, everybody goes through a storm sometimes.
God is. And Rainier Avenue Radio .world have a new address. We're now located at 4916 Rainier Avenue South in Columbia City, 98118. God is still loving on your community, being a blessing and meeting the needs of the people. Don't miss any of our amazing shows. Your favorite community radio station. Tune in and come on down and get some free food and let us continue to love on you. Don't forget to tune in. See you soon for free food and free entertainment with God Is and Rainier Avenue Radio .world.
Mga kaibigan, ito po si Kuya Bert Kawili.
And this is Miles Salvador from Australia.
And I'm Norb Kawili, also known as Norbcam.
Kung gusto niyo po ang latest news and events from the Philippines at yung local Filipino community, Radio po.
We play Filipino music and interview guests from all around the world.
And I'll keep you updated on the latest Seahawks and sports news.
Kaya always tune in, Radio every Tuesday, 1 to 2:30 p.m. Pacific Time on Rainier Avenue Radio .world.
And in YouTube and Facebook. Salamat po.
Generational wealth. Generational wealth. Generational wealth. What is generational wealth? We asked our communities, and this is what they had to say.
Generational wealth, it's this idea of like hard work that gets carried on that had been executed from ancestors, and so the generations down the line are a bit more set up already, like in a very favorable position financially to succeed. And it kind of makes me think of like privilege a lot, because when I think about stuff like gentrification or people with privilege or in a more privileged position in like the current society as it is right now, I think of this idea that they probably had this generational wealth.
This campaign to create awareness to generational wealth is brought to you by the Department of Neighborhood's Generational Wealth Initiative, the Washington Housing Finance Commission, and Rainier Avenue Radio .world.
This is Paul Pearson, host of Star Time. And when I'm not using my GPS to navigate the land of 1,000 dances, I'm listening to Rainier Avenue Radio .world.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Clean Greens Living, broadcasted here live on Rainier Avenue Radio. It is your hostesses with the mostesses, Queen Bri and Christina Chambers. Hey, Christina.
Good afternoon. Testing.
Testing. I hear you. Love the lip color. What is that, Plum?
That's actually some drugstore lip chap with some tint. Trying to be Mary Kay.
Hey, you ain't got to try. You can be if you want to. Holla at me. No, just messing. Welcome, everybody into the room. We are super excited today to have our guest host, Reverend Pastor Dr. Robert L. Jeffrey in the house. He's going to be coming in, catching us up on all the things that he's been doing behind the scenes. It's been a while since we had him on the show. Everything okay, Christina? Oh, it's been a while since we had him on the show. So let's bring on Dr. Jeffrey. Woo.
Hi, Ray.
Good, thanks. How you doing?
I'm doing fine.
Like History Month. Can you see my fist?
Yeah. Black History Month. Yeah.
So, Dr. Jeffrey, you're coming on here to talk to us about, you have a few things to talk to us about. So I know at New Hope, you guys are going to be screening a film coming up on February 16th. No, I'm sorry, February. Yeah, 16th and February 23rd. So you want to start us off by talking about that for Black History Month?
Yeah, for Black History Month. Happy Black History Month to both of you guys.
Thank you.
During Black History Month on February the 16th, Friday and Friday the 23rd, we're having we're showing the movie The History of the Black Church from Slavery Till Now. And we'll be showing that movie, the first part of it from slavery up until Jim Crow will probably be on the 16th. It's important for us to know how the Black church got its origins, and it informs what we need to do today. And as well as from on the 23rd, we'll be talking about the Civil Rights era church and um, Martin King and the development of the church as it relates to bringing us civil rights and during the 60s and 70s. So, and then we'll be talking about some of the manifestations of the church today in the film. After the film, each Friday, we'll have a short panel discussion with Dr. Leslie Braxton of New Beginnings, who will be there to help answer questions, and Dr. Anderson from First ME, who will be there, and I'll also be there as a panel to discuss any questions the community would have about the Black church. So I think it's going to be an interesting 2 evenings. I think that there are a lot of questions out there about origins of the Black church, a lot of misinformation, a lot of things talked about. And I think that it will be good to sit down in the community. Hopefully, we can get people there to talk about these things and to talk about sort of whether the Black church should be going and what it should be doing now, or what are the kinds of things it should be involved in. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited about it. Hopefully, we can get some response.
Nice. And I'm not sure if you said this. Does it cost to come see the movie, or is the movie screening going to be free?
It's free. It's free. It's free.
It's free.
It's free to the public.
Nice. Christina, did you have a question? I know we were talking about the movie a little bit before the show came on, and I don't know if that was a question you were going to have, Christina, or if it was just something you were saying.
I kind of do have a question, but it's it's more so related to reparations than the Black church.
Yeah, I want to talk about the reparations piece.
Okay.
I was just gonna in a minute. Yeah.
Go ahead and ask your question.
Well, I recently watched. Well, I'm from Mobile, Alabama, Africa Town, and my ancestors are, and my dad still lives in that community, and it's a super site, which means there's a lot of industrial pollution. So I was watching this documentary called Descendants, and it's so crazy to me how they know the family that brought the last slave ship in. They found the ship. They have all this proof, all this real estate that has been bought and all this industrial pollution and cancers that have occurred. Why is there no conversation, or how do they start the conversation of reparations? Because first of all, they haven't even had a conversation with the family, the slave holders. And I know this isn't in the South, and so things probably move a little slower than they do here. But how can that community even think about starting reparations when the family, the slaveholders, are not even recognizing their part in history?
Yeah, I think that's an important question. How do we hold people responsible for damages once we define and explain what those damages are? That's an important question. But I think that what's important also is to document and define damages, which has been done, and I think that in that county, and I think that that's what we have to do across the country, document and define damages. And then have some sort of comprehensive understanding of how we address those damages and how those damages should be addressed. For example, in that community, they could probably file a collective class action lawsuit against families that are still in existence or corporations that are still in existence, or those who they've identified to be complicit in those damages. It's just like anything else. If somebody runs into your car, the back of your car, and you document the damages to your automobile, that person is not going to voluntarily give you those damages. I mean, you have to file a lawsuit against that person, or your insurance company would have to file a lawsuit against that person, and talk about what those damages are in that lawsuit collectively, and then have uh, have that work through the court system. I think that's ultimately where that would have to go in Mobile. I think it needs to be a class action lawsuit. And so, but I think that the important part has been done in Mobile, that they have documented the damages in video. And that brings me to what we're doing in the King County Reparations Project. On Friday the 16th or Friday the 23rd, we have already created a video of King County damages, reparation damages. So we're in the process of creating a documentary about King County, the damages that were done to inner city residents in King County, or the residents of King County, the Black residents of King County. We have a 30-minute presentation that will be playing at on the 23rd of that documentary. It's not the documentary. It's not the complete documentary. It's a representation of what the documentary is going to be. It's a promotional piece about our documenting the damages to African Americans in King County over the last since the 50s. So we'll be and the removal of African Americans.
Why did you choose
30-minute
the
piece?
50s? I'm just wondering, why did it start in the 50s?
What we're talking about basically is, well, we chose that period of time between 60 and now because that was the period of time when there was a wholesale movement to move African Americans out of the central area and to confiscate land from African Americans, whether it was the I-5 corridor, I-90 corridor, or whether it was weed and seed. And there are 5 categories we use: weed and seed, subprime lending, where the banks came in and gave loans to African American families, and then increased they were adjustable rate loans, and racist use of eminent domain, which is the I-90 corridor, when many families would dislocate it. Same thing, yes, the terrorists really, but a lot of those families didn't come back, and it's the racist use of eminent domain, where they promise one thing and then they don't do it. We talk about the issue of high property taxes, which drives a lot of people out of this area, and that comes because of all of the development. So we go through 5 basic categories of removal that we use, that we use to remove African Americans, and we put together a pretty good beginning a video in cooperation with some of the editors at PBS. And it's really an extraordinary piece. I mean, people are going to be shocked and surprised when they see this piece. It's really professionally done. and it's the beginning of probably what's going to end up being a 4-hour documentary on detailing the removal of African Americans and detailing with proof of how this removal was planned and set into motion by the people of whites. And so this video, this 30-minute promotional video will be shown on the 23rd. And we hope that people will come to see this promotional video because this is, we have testimonies from people in the community. And we're still, this promotional video will be used to garner more testimonies from others in the community who have a story to tell. What we're trying to do is let the same thing they did in Alabama is to let people tell their stories on what actually happened and how this community became devastated by white privilege and the racist use of government. It's going to be a wonderful piece. A lady named Angela Mora is helping to narrate this, and it's going to be great. We invite the community. We can invite the community out to see this 30-minute promotional before we show the film on the history of the Black Church on the 23rd. We probably won't have it ready for the 16th. I've seen it. I was pretty much blown away by it. I mean, it's going to be first class piece once we finish it, and it's the first class piece right now. So it'll probably end up being over 4 hours once it's finished, and we're really proud of the work that's going on with the film.
If you're just tuning in, you're tuning in to Clean Greens Living, broadcasted here live on Rainier Avenue Radio. Our special guest today, Dr. Robert Jeffrey. Do not forget to visit Rainier Avenue Radio, the Call of Conscious Museum. It is currently open right now, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. This museum will be running from February 1st until February 29th. It's such a good exhibits. We have Black Panther. They teach you how to requilt, the national, the Negro League, Black baseball. Sorry, I can't even talk. Nasty Mix Records will be in the building. Speaking of Nasty Mix, they will be in the building Thursday, February 15th at 6 p.m. And they will be there with Sheila Locke and more. So please come visit Rainier Avenue Radio, check out the Call to Conscious Museum, and check out the Nasty Mix reunion on February 15th. All right. Sorry for butchering that.
Shout out to Rainier Avenue Radio. They're really doing a tremendous job.
Yes. Every year they put some pieces together to not only acknowledge Black history, but also acknowledge the Black history in Washington State. Hey, Deontay. He said, that's my pastor.
How's it going, Deontay?
Also, I feel like, I don't know if you guys ever seen Little Shop of Horror where they're like, tell them the address when he's telling them about coming to visit the shop. Because we had Deacon Janet, we didn't say what time the movie starts. And it starts
the movie starts at 6 on the 16th. On the 23rd, we'll start everything at 5:30 because we're going to show the reparations promotional, the documentary. We're going to show that from 5:30 to 6. But I've got to tell you, this is going to be a great piece, and everything is being done very professionally. We want to be able to get this out once it's done, and we want people across this country and this world to know what happened in King County and what happened to African Americans in the 20th century, not 19, not 18, not 17, the 20th century. So we're going to be making it clear that systemic racism is alive and well in America.
So it's February 16th and February 23rd. They both start at 6 p.m. The movie starts at 6 p.m. However, February 23rd, we'll have a special screening of the reparations project that Dr. Jeffrey, along with Black Dog Days Task Force and friends and PBS, have been working on to talk about. I can't even, what am I talking about? Reparations in Washington.
What we're doing is documenting the stories of African Americans that were removed and why they were removed, and we're documenting the whole issue of how government planned and with forethought deliberately planned the removal of these African Americans and the actual stealing of their wealth and their inability to pass that wealth down to their children and their grandchildren. And this is not only happening in Seattle. We're in touch with people in Harlem and Watts, and those representatives will probably have some voice in the documentary before it's done. But right now, we're concentrating on King County. But we're also trying to show. We'll try to show and demonstrate through what we do how this is interconnected to places like the same thing happening in Watts, same thing happening in Harlem, same thing happening in Chicago, uh, same thing happening all across the country. It's the same blueprint. I mean, they're not that imaginative. They use the same blueprint over and over again. But the ultimate intent of the blueprint is to destroy the wealth of African American, collective wealth of African Americans. They don't mind having a few Black billionaires, but what they don't want is collective wealth accumulated in the Black community, where Black people collectively are able to do make economic decisions on a collective basis and create institutions collectively that would be competitive to historically white constructs. So that's what's at stake in this country right now.
And stuff like that is still going on, where they're breaking up people's homes and properties due to eminent domain to build streets and highways in between homes. I just seen something on High on the Hog where one of the people that they had their family lot was being taken away from them and having to find new places to live. Right now, in the year,
put them in touch with the project.
2023,
whoever that is. Put them in touch with the project. We are looking for all stories that we can get at this time. We're just, the promotional will hopefully, once people see the promotional, once they see what we already have done, I'm sure they'll be excited about this project, as excited as I am to understand that this is doable, that we can run through the streets screaming and hollering, we can march and holler and protest, and we can be paid off and bribed. But at the end of the day, we need to strategically and structurally have a response to what has happened to African Americans and people of color primarily African Americans in the central area and throughout King County. We need to have some kind of structural response to that, because and a documented response to that. And then, of course, what follows after that is up to whatever the community needs to do, as I was telling Christina about the community in Alabama.
It's so the two subjects are so very connected, the Black church and the reparations, and it just makes me think of the history of the Great Migration, of all our people that left the South and that left their church homes that were largely their family, and how scared they must have been, if they were lucky enough to join other family members in other cities. But I always think about like what we lost in trying to build and attain a dream, for our legacy, for our future.
We're pushed into a position. I'm sorry.
No, it's just so amazing that we're still dealing with it.
I think that we're dealing with a whole new animal right now. We're dealing with a strategic planning that circumvents our ability to grow and mature. Before, we were dealing with outright terror.
Yeah, that's
And
what I was
outright
thinking. Like
we
they
were
left the
dealing with
South.
outright terror that was not disguised. It was just terror. I mean, they would terror, and there is a lot of terror still going on. It's very subtle, but it's still terror. I mean, there is subtle statements to people who have jobs that you can't make certain statements, or you won't be promoted, or you can't raise too much. You can't get too involved in social justice, or you'll be passed over. We're going to look at you a certain way because you or call you a radical, or call you somebody who is not going along to get along. So there's a lot of that. There's still a lot of terror and fear being exerted to keep people in positions. For example, many of the people who have made it out of the community, who are, making good money, there's a lot of pressure put on those people not to get involved in the struggle of the communities they've left behind in a real way, in a structural way, in a way that provides independent jobs that are not tied to institutional corporations that are already in the community, exploiting the community. What they want these people to do is tie themselves to those corporations so that the Blacks will see those corporations in a more friendly light, but not to create new institutions that are separated from those corporations. That intimidation is still out there, and that's why we don't see a lot of billionaires that we have coming into the community, helping to create economic development funds to create businesses that are owned solely by the African Americans, and that operate and by without some kind of controls uh, that operated by African Americans. So we don't see a lot of that investment back into the community, and I think that because they are under a lot of pressure not to do that, because they would lose the wealth that they have if they start doing that. Their job, once they become wealthy, is to make the white man richer, not to make the Black man more better off. And that's pretty much what's going on. Most of them endorse white products, white corporations, uh, and they use their wealth and privilege to make uh, billionaires more billionaires, and they are successful in that. And but I think there's a lot of intimidation that goes along to make them do that. I think a lot of them have good hearts. They want to do the right thing, but there's there's a lot of intimidation. I mean, there's a lot of intimidation when you go against the power. I mean, so terror is still here, but it's not like the Ku Klux Klan terror. It's not like the terror that our forefathers faced when they had to flee the South and even be intimidated in the North. But
It's
it's
like
it's
new
it's
black
it's terror.
codes. It sounds like
The black codes, those kinds of things. Yeah, those don't. They exist on a subtle basis, but not on a concrete basis in the way that
Well,
they existed before.
I hate to break this up. 30 minutes is never enough. Dr. Jeffrey, hopefully you have more time to come back and talk to
Can I
us more.
just say this before you cut me? Can I get you got 2 more minutes?
Do we got
I
two
just
more
want to
minutes?
I want to remind everybody about the honey project that we got going on, Clean Greens Honey and Clean Greens Teas that are going to be released this year, hopefully, right?
Yes.
And I want to thank you guys for the great job you're doing with Clean Greens Farm and Market. We're going to be bringing on another young man, Chris, this year,
We
and
have to go.
and I
Another
think
radio station.
we're going to have a powerful year. Thank you, guys.
All
Thank you,
right.
Dr.
Bye.
Jeffrey.
Sorry, Phil AM. Have a good day, everybody. Bye.